a lot of eating.
All right, moving on to
Does Kirby
Sony,
have a tongue?
guys.
Oh, sorry.
Alright.
Sony.
That's good.
Sony guys.
The Sony. All right.
Sony,
Guys.
PlayStation, whatever
So,
it is.
not a whole lot of new stuff, but they did show a lot of games. Some of them, most of them exclusive. But let's start with Steph this time. Sony, favorite game that they showed. What do you think? For you, what's your favorite game that they showed?
Oh. Pressure.
Just the Horizon Zero Dawn is all I gave a fuck about.
The DLC? I didn't really watch it.
Piece of shit. Sorry.
I just at this point I've had a little just enough of Horizon. It's good. I just don't feel like jumping back into that world yet.
No, I get that. It's just I knew that they were going to continue it, and just the way that it's laid out, it's kind of obvious the DLC was coming. So you're kind of looking there, just like, hey boys, you wanna just give that to me? It's just like that was a fun little thing. What else? Did I really pay too much attention to that? I saw that. I don't know, the Sony one. I was just like, mainly because of the Life is Strange thing. I was just too pumped about.
Okay. Did you see anything like, I don't know, because there was God of War, there was the Shadow of Colossus. I think
the Shadow of Colossus is fine, but that's not coming out till like October. The upgrade. It's just I like remakes, but I'm like I don't want to count those.
Okay.
That's not something new. That's just their remastering, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but
they need to fix those controls though.
They do.
They were fine.
Like
they're fine.
No, they're terrible.
No,
The
game didn't work.
They're fine.
4 years, there's been more remakes than there should be. Just like I get it, a lot of their stuff isn't backwards compatible. So, let's remake this and try to soak in more money business-wise. Fine, I get that. Whatever, you're a business.
They're turning into the movie industry with all the remakes.
Exactly. I'm just like, for fuck's sakes. I mean, could you please try to pull some other stuff? Like, goddamn Borderlands 3, I swear to God, I will sacrifice 10 children.
Well, then now you're just pulling in sequels, and that's the problem.
You're gonna get Borderlands 3, though.
We'll get Borderlands.
I know I am. There's just a little bit of hope. It's more likely coming more next year at this point, but they are closer. I have seen that. It's more just a hope. Please. I got Life is Strange, that little prequel sequel thing, so I'm happy. That's my little, thing.
Right.
Again, I was more focused on certain games rather than what is Sony coming out, what is Microsoft coming out with. I'm just like, I'm gonna, if I hear about this, and that.
You know what you want, and you want it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fair.
I have the consoles, I have the things I want. I know the exact games I'm looking for personally, but last year I was completely different. I'm like, oh my God, there's a whole new range. I'm trying to get more into it, but now I know the specific stuff that I want. Again, last year I found out about Titanfall 2. I found out about all that fun shit and stuff, whatever.
Okay, so you approach E3 a little differently. So
this year I did rather than last year.
Yeah, you look for your like specific games.
I look for the specific people that I hear about. Like last year when they showed about Breath of the Wild, I was over the moon. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for this and all that other stuff. But now I'm like, I know specifically what I want just because I'm still playing a lot of the stuff. Last year I wanted complete things. Like, yeah, I'm still like into all the other things because there's a lot more open world that came out like this year and are coming out.
Yeah,
so,
a little too much at times.
Too much. Yes, exactly, Joel. That was my impression of this conference. Every single game. Hey, you want to explore an open world? How about another one?
No, tell me where to go, damn it.
I'm like,
no,
I'm
I completely get that. I think that's just with every, like, one person will be just like, hey, let's finally do open world. Breath of the Wild kind of needed it because Zelda was very to this, and this. That was the kind of game that needed it. Yeah. But once one company does it, everyone's fucking doing it.
Well, that's just that people want, like, companies want that. They want their games played for longer time. They don't want it automatically, like, taken to GameStop and traded in. So they're making bigger open worlds. And then, I guess in a way people become more invested in it, kind of like The Witcher. Because I didn't really hear anybody talk about Witcher until all of a sudden Witcher 3 comes out and it's awesome. And then suddenly everyone loves Witcher.
Didn't talk to me.
Yeah, didn't talk to Ben, but anyways, let's cover some of the games then, because they showed a lot of games. So I don't know, Ben, Logan, what did you guys see that kind of, I don't know, that you can give some thought of or that you really liked?
Logan, you go.
Okay.
Because I'm less enthused.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there was a lot at Sony that I really liked, especially Monster Hunter World, because that came out of nowhere, and it's cool to see Monster Hunter come back to a PlayStation console, because that's what it started off on. Monster Hunter 1 was for the PS2, and
PSP,
now it's switched to like
PSP
the
titles.
3DS. Yeah, there were PSP, and that's where I first played it.
It's the first console one in like 15 Oh, I guess the Wii version.
Yeah, there's the Wii U of Monster Hunter 3. Yeah. But that was all Nintendo. Then there's all the 3DS versions, PSP. There was even like an iOS one, and it's cool to see it back on a console. And it's exciting because not only is it coming back, but there's a whole bunch of new mechanics and things like that. PC, Xbox, PS4. So
and PlayStation is where it started, you said, right?
Yeah, it did on PS2.
I just recently got into Monster Hunter, so I don't know too much about the background. I haven't researched that yet.
Yeah, so
that's cool. That's going back to its roots.
Yeah, and that it got premiered at their conference. The list that I'm looking at of all the titles doesn't have Detroit on there, which I think was the other big game that I was really excited for.
Yeah, I wasn't too hyped on Detroit at first, and then after this this trailer, it was I was kind of like sold on it. I was like, oh damn, this looks cool. I got
I just want to know the story so bad. Like I just want to go through it. World. Yeah, I love the world that it's set in.
Yeah.
So, those are the big takeaways for me.
So I just have a question. Was that Evil Within? Was that?
That was Bethesda.
That was Bethesda. Yeah. I almost picked it up today too, just because I think last time we were talking about it when we recorded last, just some games that I know I missed, and I should have picked it up today, but I didn't. I ended up picking up Uncharted 4 for like I think $15.
That's a good deal.
It's a good example of a non-open world game that's really, really good that you do get invested in.
Exactly. Yeah.
True point. It feels like an open world, but
it's very.
I don't know. They did it. They did it very well to make it not feel like trapped, like you had to do something.
Yeah. The problem with these open world games and how Sony specifically shows them, because I just started playing Horizon, and I remember them showing off Horizon, and they show all these cool things you can do and all the stealth routes, and then I'm going to jump over here, and it's all so scripted. Yes, I can do that, but I never do that. When you're actually in the open world, are you going to be putting that bomb on that wall to blow it up to let the zombies come in? I don't know, maybe. Is that going to happen a lot of times? Yeah, probably not,
Yeah.
And it's just all these little things that they try to make an open world game look and feel like a Uncharted single player focused thing.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be that. It's going to be an open world. And how are the mechanics going to work in that? You're not showing me that, but that's the game I'm going to be playing. And that game I've played 10,000 times already with all your stupid open world games.
I think that's more of an advertisement type of issue rather than Sony itself, because if you look at like different movies and stuff that do that, they should make it seem, I don't want to say cooler than it really is, but it makes it seem like you have more freedom to jump from where to where. Like I get Sony does that a bit more, but when I see that, of course, when I play games, like I like try to jump and try to break that invisible barrier and try to do the weird things, kind of create glitches. But that's just what I personally do because I enjoy it. I kind of enjoy glitches. They make the game funnier because it takes you out of it, makes you not get too into it. But I think that's more of an advertisement PR thing. To again, everyone knows it, but they still get too hooked onto it, and they feel disappointed when they play the game. It's a constant cycle.
Well, I think it shows you just like, I mean, because one thing with Horizon, like all the little traps and bombs and tripwires and stuff like that, I didn't think I was going to use them very much, but I ended up using them a ton. And I feel like I see a lot of that in Days Gone. Like, hey, these are options that you have if you approach it this way.
Yeah.
I usually don't play games that way. I'm usually all run and gun and, I'll figure it out with grenades or whatever. But I with Horizon, I did do that stuff, and it did create some really cool like events and stuff like that, and I can kind of see that with Days Gone. When I look at Days Gone, I think of a mixture of like The Last of Us, Uncharted, and Horizon all together. It seems like it just has different like takeaways from that. Mostly looks like The Last of Us in an open world setting. That's one game I looked at and I was like, this is gonna be cool. God of War, I'm all in for God of War. I think I've played every single one. I just love it.
Me too.
And this one looks awesome.
This one looks really good.
It looks a lot farther along than I thought too. Trying to think.
Well, they're looking for early 2018.
Yeah.
Speaking of, go back to Days Gone. We don't have a release date or window for it.
Yeah,
that's just shocking.
Yeah, I really thought they should have gotten that out this fall. I don't know how far along it is, but you got to get it out of the way of The Last of Us for sure, and that's not till what 2019.
Well, The Last of Us,
yeah, that's like years away.
Yeah, but you don't want it. You don't want it to be like, oh man, Days Gone was so awesome. Oh look, next year's Last of Us. That's all they make. This stuff.
Yeah,
but,
Last of Us will be 2019 at the earliest.
I thought we'd see this game sooner, but that's fine.
I feel like dying for it.
Yeah, this fall has so many titles already that aren't even exclusive that are coming out. Ni no Kuni, right? Isn't that a PS4 exclusive? That's coming out in November. And PC. Yeah, it is coming out on PC. I'm trying to think what else.
Buy consoles.
Yeah.
I wanted them to like include the first game with it, kind of like a Bayonetta 2 scenario.
I thought they did that if you pre-order it.
No.
They did that with South Park, right?
That did happen with South Park, yeah.
Okay.
Different.
Well, I would like to talk a little bit about Detroit, though.
Okay, let's talk about
Detroit. Because Detroit, I've been a fan. I've played Indigo Prophecy and liked it. It's not that great, but it's fine. And then Heavy Rain, which I loved. Mm-hmm. And Beyond Two Souls, which I actually enjoyed a lot more than pretty much anyone else I've ever talked to. So I love David Cage's games. I know there are problems and whatever, but I think as a unique experience, you can't really get anywhere else. Like, it's not like a Telltale game. You're really in this choose your own adventure story that's so much deeper than a Telltale game, like just leagues beyond the choices you can make in those games. It's ridiculous. And seeing that Android setting, I love, like you're saying, look, I love that setting and that idea, that the premise, I guess, is so compelling and it's so unique. We don't get that in video games. We'll get that in movies every once in a while.
I got some Deus Ex like feelings for a second, like just the way it was, like the way the trailer was kind of building towards it reminded me of the last Deus Ex, the Mankind Divided.
Right, we're going for that cyberpunk setting, and it'd be cool to see, obviously, CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077. So,
but yeah, like Ben was saying, I mean, Detroit's one of those games that I wasn't really into it because I loved Heavy Rain, and I've played Indigo Prophecy, and I didn't really play Beyond Two Souls. But Detroit, just with the trailer that I watched, like I was just watching it, I was getting chills, and I was sold on it. I was like, okay, I don't know much more about this game, but I'm in. It looks really cool.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm fully in. I hope so. That is the biggest game for me from Sony right now that I can think of.
As a person who's new to this like certain series, I don't know if it's a new series or anything. I'm completely lost. I'm just like, what? This is fucking neato. Like, I mean, it is.
It is cool.
I'm looking at it as like in the perspective of someone who's getting into like the whole new game thing. I'm looking at like, well, I'm kind of sold. I obviously want to know like maybe a little bit more because of money wise, and I want to be money conscious type of thing. But I'm like, yeah, this is definitely something I would highly take into, and the fact that you can make like different choices and stuff like that, it gives you that.
Yeah. Well, since you like Life is Strange,
I would if you like Life is Strange, you'll love those games.
I do like that games are giving more of a choice type of thing, like with Horizon, and again, Witcher's always done that, things like that. I think games should do that a little bit more, even if it's like, that can never, I guess, be repetitive, is making your own choices, because...
Well, and it's a good, like... It's a good way to kind of break away from all these open world games that we were just talking about, right? Like, to have something that's more story driven, that takes you through an experience, because even just watching the trailer right now, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, like this is cool. This just looks awesome. I loved Heavy Rain. It was so different from anything I'd played. That I'm kind of excited for this. I don't play Telltale games at all. I don't.
You shouldn't play Telltale games.
Yeah, I don't have any of them that I even want to play. Batman was the closest one, and I still didn't play it. I do have Life is Strange downloaded on my console. I do want to try that one out.
It's good.
I feel like Life is Strange is like a different thing because you're just like, whatever, it's just a Telltale. The only Telltale game I've played was the Borderlands one because, again, the people who made Borderlands actually were highly into it. So, again, it felt like it. But the other ones, I'm just like, this is kind of boring. But Life is Strange. The first episode, you thought you were emotional, but episode 5, you're like, oh, fuck.
I was just thinking about the other night when I was like, when I downloaded Life is Strange, and then I was thinking about, I have Tales from the Borderland, like, I have it added to my library. I was like,
do it.
Well, that's the thing. I heard really good things about it. And then I go to Twitter, and I see Ben's tweet.
Yeah, he just
how you didn't like it, and I was like, damn it, Ben.
It's not that good.
Unless I'm a huge, again, Borderlands fan type of thing. So unless you're,
play Life is Strange.
I'm gonna play Life is Strange. I'm gonna play Life is Strange. Yeah.
One of my favorite games of the last 10 years, for sure.
Ben, did you like the other Borderlands games and just didn't like?
I like them fine. I didn't think Tales from Borderlands was very funny. I think the Telltale formula is very stale. It was less about the Borderlands content and more about the stale formula.
It's more just you hate that.
More Telltale needs
so much, no matter what it is, you're not going to be a fan.
Yeah, well, kind of like how I think Colin he used to be from Kind of Funny. He used to always just say, change your engine or make a new engine.
Well, it's not even that. This is a tangent now, but like the formula was they kept giving you choices and then they just take it away. Like, oh, that didn't matter. I'm like, well, why do you even give me a choice?
No, I do get that. But again, I'm just a Borderlands fangirl. I know that is canon to the newest Borderlands that's going to come out. That's why if you're going to play Borderlands 3, that's actually important to play because those characters will actually be in that.
That would be interesting. If I played Borderlands 3 and those characters showed up, I would care because I did like those characters enough.
It is confirmed that they are going to show up.
All right, that's cool. Gortys?
That's the...
Gortys playable. Gortys playable. Come on.
I mean...
Give me the hot scoops.
Probably. I know I definitely like Fiona because she said I'll
totally play as Fiona.
But definitely
E3,
her,
what's that?
But also on my last note for this whole Sony thing, I do have a friend who's big into the Spider-Man, and Spider-Man games are known to be shit from what I've heard.
90% of them, yeah, sure.
Web of Shadows was awesome. Spider-Man 2 on PS2 was dope. The only thing wrong
was the best Spider-Man.
The only thing wrong with Web of Shadows was that it had no trophies.
I think
I played the shit out of that game.
Is that
sure we could find another thing.
Yeah,
they're so bad. It's because they're so bad that's what makes them fun to play. But this newest one that's going to come out in 2018, which kind of is bummy.
Right, 2019.
It'll be next year.
I was surprised they had so much gameplay ready. It looks really good. It reminds me a lot of it's almost like the Arkham or the Arkham Asylum approach to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
100%.
I wasn't a fan of Arkham. It's just me. I don't know. I just wasn't. I think it's just also over the Batman gaming.
I'm totally fine with you hating those games. I really don't care either way.
I'm not a fan. I mean, I don't hate them. I'm just like,
they're kind of like it's not something you want to. You're dying to play.
I feel like they shouldn't waste their time.
Well, that was what was cool about Spider-Man is you can have all the web powers and you see him interacting with the environment, like throwing bricks around and knocking people over in really fun ways. Like what's going on
in the trailer right now about how you even can approach the different bad guys. It's well done. And the voice actor is a good voice actor choice too. So
yeah, I
the
did
only
like
thing I'm not a fan of is all the QuickTime events, which is fine for I think they only really do it for story parts or it was a lot of them, but the rest of it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, they're only cutscenes.
I think it just telegraphed it too long. I was like, you gotta press X, and it was like 5 seconds went by.
Right, it was like, woo, woo. It's like,
but maybe as you play the game, you see the reasoning behind it. Maybe it'll flow better as you play it. But also, we're also an impatient type of people, so we're like, come on, let's do it. But I don't know. That's definitely a game I want to check out to see if the little slowness actually adds on to the game as opposed to being impatient. So I tested it out.
I think an interesting thing that I just realized, I should have realized sooner, there's very little for this year.
You just realized?
I mean, for Sony, there's nothing happening this year. There's Knack 2.
I think there's also a lot more people who may have been thinking like me. They were expecting certain games.
Well, I feel like they've done this before too. I mean, I think almost the first 2 years of PS4 there wasn't exclusives.
I think like every year.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I mean, and a lot of it though is because they have such good third-party like deals that most people are gonna preferably play those on PS4. So they're like, we're good in the fall. We don't have anything. We're not in need of a console seller because we have Destiny 2.
Everything's a remake.
Yeah, well, like all these newer titles that are coming out, they're coming out in 2018. I mean, they're scheduled for 2018, at least some of them. But this fall, I mean, it's coming up pretty quick, and the few games that I'm gonna play are gonna be all multiplayer and online. So I'm kind of okay with there being very limited, just single player experiences this fall. But I'm not every gamer, so. Some people might be kind of pissed. I feel like if we keep on
talking more about the Sony thing, we're just going to keep on reiterating.
Okay, one more thing. No Bloodborne 2.
Yes!
No Bloodborne.
I thought that was confirmed.
Fuck no.
No, there's nothing on Bloodborne.
Oh, I thought that's what you said, that it was, I guess.
I was just really excited.
He wanted it to happen.
I was like,
how could it not?
I mean...
Oh my god.
It's just not there.
From's working on 3 games. One of them's Armored Core, and the other 2 I don't remember. One of them's not announced.
It's its own timeline as opposed to Dark Souls, right?
It's completely separate, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, no one really knows the Dark Souls storyline. Let's be honest.
Let's actually be real honest. It doesn't make sense, and I hate people who are so in love with it. I'm bad at the gameplay.
No, there are people who I was just like, oh, are there hardcore ones? It was actually Aaron from Game Grumps who were just like, yeah, no one actually knows who the fuck I've talked to personally. People who are hardcore fans, and they're just like, yeah, we don't know what's going on. We just love playing the game.
Like, the story's cool and interesting, but, like, I don't know
because there's British voice acting, and it makes it sound cooler.
No, it's just, like, the weapon descriptions are so vague and weird. You're like, oh, that's interesting, but I don't know.
And those are one of those games, it's, like, stupid, you don't know what's going on, but it's still so fun. It's hard and aggravating, but you still love it.
Yeah, it's about the game. But actually, Bloodborne's story is... I don't know, easier to understand, I guess.
I think it's because it's a sub-story as opposed to its own. I don't know. But yeah, now that you said that there's no Bloodborne 2, it kind of bums me out, but at the same time, I didn't even know there was supposed to be, like, think about there being a Bloodborne 2, so...
Do you think maybe PSX, we might see it?
It'd have to be
Why is everyone using X?
There's too many X's, I agree.
Well, it's PlayStation experience,
XXX.
Street Fighter X Tekken. Wait. What?
No.
Not the same.
No, not the same.
That's old.
All right,
I think we've beaten the horse.
So, overall, on the conference, what do you guys think? I was expecting more. I was a little underwhelmed, but still kind of like it was a good conference, but nothing like the last year or whatever, where it was like
good, not great.
Yeah. Only one Vita mention.
Only 2 PS4 Pro mentions.
Yeah, true.
Planned it to be underwhelming. They didn't want to overdo it, just in case shit happened or something.
I don't think they had anything else to show. They have 16 games with no release dates.
Yeah,
Still.
That's true. Yeah, they didn't have.
Ridiculous.
They didn't have that. And this moment. The last.
Yeah, that was Spider-Man. Really.
Yeah. Which
there are a bunch of people upset that there was no Last of Us 2, and those people are morons.
Yeah. There's Last of Us 2. Like, shut up.
I was happy that there wasn't Last of Us 2. I don't want to see...
There was no fucking way.
I don't want to see any more about that game until it's going to be released.
You're not gonna see anything for another year, so keep waiting.
Just released that there's going to be a Last of Us 2 in, like, the near future. You really think that's going to be at E3 this soon when they just had a little mini trailer?
Yeah, that trailer was enough. Right? We don't need more. I'm glad they didn't show it.
Yep. Just tell me that it's being development and we're good.
Because people would have been just like, oh, cool, not until like 2019. Oh, that's bullshit. Well,
they shouldn't have showed what they already showed. Too early.
Too early.